And are you able to see?
Yes, mother.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada. So we will be reading, hearing from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 22. The title of this chapter is The Process of Devotional Service. And from verse 31 onwards, last week we did the 30 verses, 1 to 3, 30. So we will try to see this week 31 to 50. Yeah. Okay. So let's read one verse and then we will go. So this is a verse from chapter 22, 31st verse. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hayandakara Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikara Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hayandakara Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikara Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hayandakara Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikara. Devotees, anyone would like to repeat?
I can do it, Mataji.
Yes, please.
Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakara Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Mayara Adhikara.
Anyone else?
Krishna Surya Shama Maya Haya Andhakara Yaha Krishna Tahanai Maya Adhikara.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hari Bol. One more devotee.
Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakara Yahan Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikara.
Jai Hari Bol. Okay. That's nice. Okay. So, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Surya Sama, like the sun planet. Maya, the illusory energy. Haya is Andhakara, darkness. Yaha Krishna, wherever there is Krishna. Taha, there. Nahi, not. Mayara, Maya, or the darkness of illusion. Adhikara, the jurisdiction. So translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Krishna is compared to sunshine and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of the external energy will immediately vanish. So it's a very beautiful verse. Quite commonly quoted in many of the classes by different speakers. And Srila Prabhupada also quotes this verse in many places. So what's mentioned here, Krishna is compared here to a sunshine and the Maya is compared to a darkness. So when there is sun, we cannot see any darkness, isn't it? Similarly, when someone is taken to Krishna consciousness, then Maya will not touch that person, or Maya will leave that place. The darkness of illusion, there won't be any illusion. If someone takes to Krishna consciousness, then so what does it mean? in simple words, Prabhupada also purport to that, and Prabhupada explains it so nicely. In that, we can see that generally we are all conditioned. The conditioned soul means we are conditioned by the three modes: Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. Sattva Guna means goodness, and Rajo and Tamo Guna means ignorance. All these three completely, so we get affected, conditioned by these three modes. But when someone takes to Krishna consciousness, what happens? The mode of passion, Rajoguna, the mode of ignorance, Tamoguna, will vanish. And the person is situated in the mode of goodness, and which is a good platform to advance in spiritual life. Because Krishna is all pure, pure goodness, and our goal is to go higher, to the platform of pure goodness, to achieve the pure love for Krishna. But if Rajoguna and Tamoguna we are situated, then it is very difficult. It is like we are in a ladder, the third step or fifth step or sixth step. First step is little difficult to go. But if someone is in a second step, it's easy to climb up to the first step. So similarly, mode of goodness is highly recommended for one to go advance, in spiritual life. So how is it possible? So if someone takes up to Krishna consciousness, that means Prabhupada mentions in the Prabhupada that one is constantly hearing about Krishna, and he is remembering Krishna, worshipping him and serving him. And when he does that, what happens? Maya cannot touch that person. Maya will vanish. Just like the illusion will completely disappear, because just like in the presence of a sun, there is no darkness. So that is the power of Krishna consciousness. One can protect himself or herself completely from this illusion by taking up to the process of Krishna consciousness. Okay. Sorry, I didn't offer my prayers. Om Ajnanatimandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurun Militamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girimit Kripatamam Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Pasha Deshatarine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so here it's mentioned, as we saw in the previous verse, Maya is always ashamed to stand in front of Krishna, just as darkness is ashamed to remain before sunshine. However, that Maya bewilders unintelligent people. Thus they boast that this world is theirs and that they are its enjoyers. So here there is so if
What's
Krishna,
happening?
if we take up Krishna consciousness in life, Maya will not touch us. At the same time, Prabhupada here mentioned, we can see here, unintelligent people. Intelligent people will take to Krishna consciousness, but when someone is not intelligent, they will be bewildered by Maya, and Maya makes us to think. What Maya is making us to think? I, mine, me and mine. Oh, this body is mine, this land is mine, this country is mine, because we identify the place of birth as ours. Many times we think that is considered as something nice. But ultimately speaking, we are actually identifying with our, identifying with the body only. Anything connected to the body, we feel I belong to that. For example, because probably one has taken birth in India, then he may think I am an Indian. Nothing wrong. But if one is too much engrossed into that consciousness, then what happens? He considered all others to be, kind of inferior. My land is higher, and my place of birth is higher, superior, and yours is not. So that's why we see currently, all kinds of problems come that, someone claims mine is best, yours is not. Even when we see any, sports happens also, immediately we identify, okay, this is my country playing, so my country only has to win. Automatically, the other person becomes our enemy, So Prahlad Maharaj says, we always think some set of people as our friends, some set of people as enemies. So whoever is favoring us, they are our friends. Whoever is not favoring us, they are our enemies. So this kind of a mood is not good for someone who wants to progress forward. We don't see anyone as our enemy, first thing. And it is a broader mood of everyone is part and parcel of the Lord. So everyone is my friend. Everyone belongs to one family. So that is the spirit, a very broader spirit, not identifying oneself with the body and that which is connected to the body as ours. So, but when someone is deeply conditioned by Maya, then that person thinks, okay, these are all people of my same place, or my same caste, or same language, or same, whatever, different things. So then we consider them as ours and others as different. So that is a very narrow-minded view of perceiving things in this world. So that's why here, if we want to come above all those things, these are all considered as illusion. Maya means illusion. These are all considered as an illusory way of seeing things. But when we take up to Krishna consciousness, we develop a very broader, perception of seeing everyone as part and parcel of Krishna, and feeling that care and concern for everyone, not that one set of people I will care for, and I don't care what others, how others are living their life. So starting from a small, even in our family, our community, to extended communities, and even as a nation, even as and in a bigger perspective as a world, if you want to develop a very broader aspect of a life, then one has to give up this I, me, mine concept. That is a very narrow concept. So that's why you see many groupism happens, because people think, oh, they all belong to, maybe a same religion, or, some same caste, same culture, different kind of things. So in that way, people form groups, and in that way, there is a hatred and attachment. So that is not a very good sign of progressing. So Krishna consciousness actually opens our eyes, broadens our vision. In that way, we see everyone as part and parcel of the Lord, and we see everyone as one family, Vasudeva Kudumpakam. Okay. So here, see, Krishna releases one from the bondage of Maya immediately if he seriously and sincerely says, my dear Krishna, I am yours. When a conditioned soul at some point of time realizes that, oh, my dear Lord, I have been in this repeated cycle of birth and death, wandering in this, cycle of birth and death for a very, very long time. Now I realize that, you are my only object of surrender. And then he takes shelter of the Lord and sincerely seeks the mercy of the Lord. Then at once he is freed from the bondage of Maya. Lord Ramachandra, in Ramayana we see in the Yuddha Kanda, Lord Ramachandra says that it is my vow. He says that it is my vow, if anyone at once, even one, surrenders to me, saying that I am yours, and asks for courage, then for that person I give all protection, and from that time on he is fully safe. That is what the Lord gives his promise, that I have taken a vow to give protection for a person who even once surrenders to me, saying that, my Lord, I am yours. So that is the mercy of the Lord. If one realizes and takes shelter of him, Immediately the Lord forgives all that offenses, mistakes, whatever that conditioned soul has repeatedly done for several millions of lifetimes. That's a mercy of the Lord. And we see here, it is mentioned that bhakti is performing bhakti is intelligence, because there are many process of God realization. As we know, there is a process, something called there are different classes of people as karmis, jnanis, yogis, and different classes of people, and they take up different processes. Like the karmis, they take up the ritualistic ceremonies. But again, they do that, to fulfill their material desires. And Jnani, he is taking up this process of, the path of speculation to achieve mukti. And then the yogi takes up this, the path of mystic yoga to attain mystic powers. They all are trying to achieve something. But Bhakta is considered as topmost because he is actually trying to, satisfy Krishna. In all these processes, one is trying to satisfy his own senses. A karmi is trying to satisfy his sense to achieve happiness, and a jnani is thinking, okay, I will attain mukti. Again, I. When we take up the path of self-realization or God realization, one has to give up this mentality. But again, we see here the concept of I remains here in the karmi, jnani, and yogi. But whereas a bhakta, you see that he comes above this I platform and he keeps God, the Lord, as a center of his, worship. Not only says the center of his goal, he keeps the Lord as his goal and the Lord's happiness as his goal. So that is why that is considered as the topmost. Bhakti is intelligence. Because by doing that, automatically he becomes happy. A jnani is trying to satisfy himself independently, minus God. And again, we see karmi also minus God, because he's only thinking about him. And a yogi also trying to attain all mystic powers. So here God is not at all there. But at the end of the day, they may achieve what they want, but ultimately they are not happy, because they are all temporary. Whatever they are achieving, trying to achieve the goal, all this are only temporary. So again, they go back to the start from square one, But whereas a bhakta is very intelligent, he takes up to the process of satisfying the Lord. But in that process of satisfying the Lord, his senses gets completely satisfied. Just like you pour water on the root of a tree, what happens? That water, you are pouring only in the root, but that water is nourishing the leaves, the stems, the branches, everything gets nourished completely. Similarly, you're trying to satisfy the senses of Krishna, automatically all our senses becomes very happy. In this picture also we see how everyone is happy. So that's why bhakta is very intelligent, and the process of bhakti is considered topmost, because that alone can satisfy the soul. Nothing else satisfies the soul, which we saw in the last session as well. Ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. Not just pleases, it supremely pleases. The soul gets supremely satisfied by doing bhakti, which is uninterrupted and unconditional. By doing that, the soul is actually really feeling the joy, happiness. Okay. So then we see here Krishna responses, Krishna's response to bhakti with material desires. Okay. Sometimes we may think, you are talking about devotional service. Okay, fine. What about if I have a desire? That means I should not go to God, or what? So here the scripture says, it doesn't matter whether we have desire, whether we have no desire, whether we have all desires or no desire, it is better to go and take shelter of Krishna. And Krishna can fulfill that. Of course, the topmost platform is not to have a material desire. But doesn't matter even if someone has a desire, material desire, still one can take shelter of the Lord. We will see a beautiful example here and a beautiful story. Let's read it first. Whether everything or nothing or liberation, it is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna by transcendental loving service. Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. It is said that you have akama, no kama, that means no desire. Sarva kama, all desires. Oh, I want this, I want that, I want it, maybe a big list. Doesn't matter. We take shelter of the Lord. Then what happens? The Lord purifies us completely. He fulfills, but also he purifies us. See here, it mentioned Krishna mercifully gives shelter of his lotus feet to those who engage in bhakti with the desires of material enjoyment and liberation, although they did not ask for it. But if someone is engaging in a loving devotional service and is also wanting a material enjoyment, it is considered foolish, because there is a nectar available, but someone is only asked, rather that person is giving up the nectar for poison. It is like a big king is there, and the king is telling, okay, you can ask any benediction you want. I'm ready to offer you even the kingdom. Whatever you want, you ask me. But if a person goes and asks the king, I want a handful of gold coins, that looks foolishness, because the king can offer him even a kingdom. Similarly, the Lord is ready to offer us the greatest benediction. But if someone just goes and asks for some simple material desire, considered as it is like you have a big you have nectar available and you are going to ask for poison. Why it is poison? Because this material desire doesn't get fulfilled, and the soul doesn't get satisfied. One may keep on asking for, I want this, I want this, I want this. But even if he gets also, it's like someone gets some wealth and then automatically the mind thinks, this is okay, but I think I can have more. I can have more. I can have more. That is a condition souls, sometimes we see our own life also. If I achieve this, I will be happy. I'm talking about in a material sense. It could be a job, it could be a, anything of material things. If I settle in my life in this way, I'll be happy. But we get to that position, but then again, something comes up and then we think that still I'm not happy. Maybe I need this more. So like that, it keeps increasing. Even after we reach to that particular situation in life, or we get what we want, but yet that is not giving us happiness. Still we are looking for something more, So that is why the material things, it's not that it is said that, oh, I should stop all that. No, that's not the point. The point here is this material things has no end. This material desires have got no end, and it doesn't satisfy at all. That is why it's very important one has to develop this, get into this process of devotional service and try to satisfy the Lord. Then automatically one gets nourished. And we will see this example soon here. Very beautiful example, practical example given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, before that, forceful shelter and willful surrender, we are seeing here. Krishna undoubtedly fulfills desires, but not in such a way that will cause one to again petition him to fulfill further desires. Krishna forcibly gives one shelter at his lotus feet, where one will forget all other desires. So one may go to the Lord with some desire. Of course, the Lord fulfills, but in such a way that we don't have to come back again. That is this way of, that is a style of giving. The fulfilling the desires. We will see this example of Dhruva Maharaj. When one worships Krishna for sense enjoyment and instead acquires a taste for serving Krishna, he gives up his material desires and willingly offers himself as an eternal servant of Krishna. So beautiful example, we have got Dhruva Maharaj. We all know Dhruva Maharaj, right? Dhruva Maharaj was the son of King Uttanapada. In brief, I will tell this pastime. So that we can understand how Krishna is actually, fulfilling our desires. A very nice story to see that. So King Uttanapada had two sons. One is Dhruva and another one is Uttama. So he had two wives, Suniti and Surichi, and Suniti's son is Dhruva Maharaj and Surichi's son is Uttama. But the king was, kind of more inclined to the second wife, Surichi, Uttama's mother. So when once what happened when King Uttanapada was sitting on the throne, Dhruva, he was only 5 years old, little boy. So Dhruva Maharaj was trying to, was climbing to sit on father's lap. So then immediately the stepmother, Surichi, she got very furious and, she spoke such harsh words that actually pierced the heart of Dhruva Maharaj. And what did she say? She said that, Dhruva, come on. What are you trying to do? You can't sit on this throne. Neither you can sit on this throne or the lap of your father because you have not taken birth from my womb. So if you want to sit on this throne or you want to sit on the lap of your father, you have to perform severe austerities. Go and worship Lord Narayana, so that what happens, you will take birth from my womb next time. Then it is possible for you to sit in your father's lap. So she was like so harsh, just a 5-year-old boy, Dhruva. And Dhruva was and his father did not even protest. He did not even say any single word when Surichi was talking like that. So Dhruva got so disturbed. He ran to his mother, Suniti. Suniti was such a wonderful mother, an example of an exemplary mother. That's why, the Bhagavatam pastimes, when we read one story, one pastime, we get a lot of lessons. And that's why it's so important for us to take up to this reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, because it actually gives us life lessons, not just some story which is not connected to our daily life. This Dhruva Maharaj's life, this pastime, every word and every action has so much of life lessons to offer, and that can help our own life. We see the example of Suniti as a wonderful mother. This is an example for all mothers to take, how we should train the children. Suniti is such an example. This little boy is running and coming crying. If we were in that position, what would be our advice to Dhruva Maharaj? Or what would be the advice to our children? Here we see the example of Suniti. What she is advising, she's telling, we should not, his first word she's telling is, my dear boy, do not wish any inauspiciousness to anybody. If anyone thinks wishes anything bad for the other person, then he will suffer from that same pain. This is what the first thing Suniti, mother of Dhruva, is instructing Dhruva Maharaj. Very, very important lesson. She could have told, oh, your stepmother spoke like that. Oh, she's so cruel. She's like that. She's like this. Don't bother about her. We will take revenge. No, she never said any of these words. Completely opposite. Completely directing Dhruva in the right direction. Because a father or a mother has a greater role to direct the child. And here Suniti directs, and she says, what your stepmother said is in one way correct. Because there is no one else who can help you except the Supreme Lord. She told you to worship Narayana, and that's perfectly correct. So please, there is no one else in this world who can actually give you any happiness. So please go and worship the Supreme Lord. And then she says that only he can give us the ultimate shelter. And she is redirecting to Dhruva Maharaj to go and worship the Supreme Lord. Take shelter of the Lord. She did not say, okay, I will give you advice what to do. Okay, let's plot and do something. She did not say any of these words. No revenge, no tit for tat. She gave such a beautiful, wonderful direction for Dhruva. This is what, as a mother, even though there is a disturbing elements outside, things may be outside chaotic or whatever it is, or we may not we may not have done any mistake, but yet what is the way one should actually guide a child? So Suniti is such a beautiful, exemplary mother, guides Dhruva in a proper direction. Immediately Dhruva Maharaj leaves and he goes to the forest. Just imagine a 5-year-old boy. Those days Kshatriyas are so, kind of powerful, fearless. So Dhruva goes to the forest and then he's actually, and in between we see how Narada Muni also tries to trick him. No, you're a small boy, why you're doing this, all that. But Dhruva was so determined. And then he guides him, the process by which you can take up to please the Supreme Lord is only devotional service. And we see that how Dhruva, in 6 months of time, he's seeing the Lord face to face. And what is Dhruva Maharaj? Why he went? What was the mood in which Dhruva Maharaj? What was this? This has got a very great connection with what we read now. He did not go, in a mood of pleasing the Lord. Actually, Dhruva Maharaj went to forest, for what? He wanted to have a great kingdom, have a kingdom which is greater than his forefathers. That was the mood in which he went. Because Surichi insulted me, I will pray to Lord Narayana and get something very great, my own kingdom. So with that material desire only he went. But what he got actually? He got to see the Lord face to face, and when he saw the Lord, he did not know what prayers to offer. He was stuck. Then the Lord kept the conch on his, on his head and empowered him. And then Dhruva starts, saying beautiful prayers. In that he tells, see here this, the exact words given here. I did austerity seeking opulent material possession. Now I have gotten you, which is very rare even for the demigods. I was searching after a piece of glass, but instead I have found a most valuable jewel. So I am so satisfied that I do not ask any benediction from you. This is what happens when we go and take shelter of the Lord. So he actually went with a material desire. Krishna fulfilled the desire also. Krishna gave the Dhruva planet, the pole star, for Dhruva to rule. And not only that, he also gave the eternal, he also took him back to Godhead. So that is the very powerful potency of devotional service. When we take shelter of Krishna, Krishna does fulfill the desire, but in such a way that he purifies our heart. That it does not, that desire doesn't make us get more attached to this material world. So this is an example that doesn't matter whether we have a desire, we don't have desire, yet it is good and intelligent to take shelter of Krishna, because Krishna knows how to purify us and give us that desire what we have got. So following the footsteps of Dhruva Maharaj, we have to understand this point, that whatever we may have in our heart, doesn't matter, whatever fear, hankering, desires, let us go and pour it out to Krishna. And in that way, we get purified. And of course, the ultimate thing which one can seek from the Lord is to, to have love for Krishna, because this human form of life, that's the ultimate success. The perfection of life is to awaken our love for God. That is the ultimate goal one should seek for. But because we are in conditioned state, we may have all other things, desires, contaminated desires, but yet it is wise to go and take shelter of Krishna, nowhere else. That's the point. So here it is mentioned what is real surrender, of course. We should not try to exchange loving service for material propensity, because that makes us one a businessman. That's what Prahlad Maharaj says. When Lord Nrsimhadev was ready to give him benediction, he said, my dear Lord, don't make me a businessman. I'm not loving you because I will get these things from you. So I don't want anything from you. Krishna may keep his devotee in a poverty-stricken condition or an opulent position. A surrendered devotee is not concerned in either case, but he desires only to satisfy Krishna. That is pure Krishna consciousness. Surrender means to completely depend on Krishna's mercy, not to demand something. So this is talking about pure devotees. So pure devotee means someone who is completely surrendered. That means, oh Krishna, you can do whatever you like. So that's what in Sikshashtakam Mahaprabhu said. You embrace me or make me broken-hearted, but you are my Lord, unconditionally. You will be eternally my Lord. Doesn't matter you give me, you don't give me. I don't care about that. But you will be always my Lord. That's the that's the mood of pure devotees. They don't give up the Lord. Okay, you have not satisfied me, so I will give up and I will go somewhere else. Or I won't worship you. Because, I expected these things from you. You didn't fulfill me. So I am not going to worship you. That's not the platform of the pure devotees. The pure devotees are not bothered about the result. They are only concerned about the service. And of course, Krishna is, Krishna, if the devotee is so determined, Krishna is also so determined to reciprocate. We have so many examples. As we know, Sudama was such a poor Brahmana, right? His wife told, you go and ask Krishna, for wealth. But Sudama thought, come on, how can I go and ask Krishna for wealth? I don't want to ask anything. But she forced it and he asked to go. But he thought, even if I go, I will see Krishna and come back. So he went all the way to Dwaraka, to the kingdom of Krishna. He went to his palace. He saw Krishna, but he did not ask anything. Interesting. But Krishna knew what was in the heart of his wife and the reason to send him there. And of course, Krishna reciprocated. But a pure devotee's mood is that they don't want to ask anything in exchange. I just want to, do devotional service and go on without any break. That is the thing. Consistency is the key. So without any interruption, carry on devotional service. So that is a pure surrender. I mean, the real surrender. Okay. So by good fortune, one of the conditions also, here it is mentioned, what is the probability of a conditioned soul to achieve the perfection of life? The comparison given here is that in a river, you see, say there is a river with many big logs floating. What is the probability or what is the chance of this log of wood to reach to the banks? Sometimes it may reach it, sometimes it may not reach. It may be just floating there for many, many years. Similarly, the conditioned soul's probability of conditioned soul to reach its ultimate destination is like the same way the log of wood reaching the bank. That is a chance. So the chance is very less. So Akrura says, even a fallen person like me also may get to see the Supreme Lord by chance, although I was falsely apprehensive that I may not. So the chance is there, but it is a very thin chance. But how one can actually get it? If we get the association of a devotee, then the chance is very bright. So that is what the scriptures say. If we get the chance of getting into association of a devotee, then we can reach our destination. So here it is mentioned, many times we heard this word, one becomes eligible to cross the ocean of needs and may get the association of pure devotee, which awakens one's attraction to Krishna, the highest goal of topmost devotees. So many times we heard the word Sukriti in Sanskrit. Sukriti means pious activity. And it is mentioned many times, if someone is very rich, we say that he would have done some pious activity in his last life or in his previous life. That is why he's very wealthy. So Sukriti also, 3 categories of Sukriti is mentioned here. Bhogonmukhi Sukriti, Mokshonmukhi Sukriti, and Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti. That means one Sukriti by which one gets wealth. Maybe in his previous life, he would have done some good activity, pious activity. Because of that, he is becoming wealthy. So that's one category of Sukriti. Another Sukriti is he has done something in his previous life that he is, able to end the cycle of birth and death and achieve mukti, liberation. That is one kind of Sukriti. And the third kind of Sukriti, which is considered as the topmost real Sukriti, is that because of some previous life, some pious activities, one is able to come in touch with the devotee of the Lord, pure devotee of the Lord. Here we see the picture of many disciples surrounding Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada came in their life, what happened? Their life completely got transformed. Otherwise, they would have been somewhere, loitering here and there, and would have wasted their life completely in Maya. But because of the association of Prabhupada, completely transformed. Even our lives, to a greater degree, we say, even we may not have achieved, like what the pure devotees have achieved, or Prabhupada's disciples have achieved. We are in the process, but yet there is a greater transformation in our lives. The association of a pure devotee and its representatives. We directly did not came in touch with Srila Prabhupada, but we came in touch of one of the representatives of Srila Prabhupada, and through them we got the Krishna Bhakti, and it has transformed our lives, right? Many bad habits, many bad desires or whatever, we have given up by the mercy of the pure devotee. So this is the real Sukriti of getting in touch with the pure devotee, and by that we are gradually awakening our real God consciousness. So how important is to be in touch with the devotee? And if we all have got that association of devotees, so how grateful we should be for this association. So that is something, when we keep on reading scriptures, we will understand what we have got is not something very small. It is something which is beyond our imagination. Something very great we have got, a very great gift we have got. So we have to really value this association, value every devotee who have come in our lives, who are directing in our lives, guiding in our lives, and not just being grateful, but also taking up those guidance and go forward in our devotional journey. So it is mentioned here, Krishna is only sending those devotees. Krishna is only sending devotees, and Krishna is directing in two ways. He's teaching all of us, guiding all of the conditioned souls in two ways. How? In our heart, he is present as Paramatma. And yes, Paramatma, he is called as Chaitya Guru. And outside, externally, he comes as the spiritual master. So internally, he is guiding a super soul, and externally, he is coming as a spiritual master. So in that way, Krishna is guiding us back home, back to Godhead. So that is the mercy of Krishna. So there are so Guru means Guru. Also, we see that there are three kinds of gurus. Vartama Pradakshaka Guru. Vartama Pradakshaka Guru is one who is showing us the direction. The first person, the person who first showed us the path of Krishna consciousness. Here is the temple. Here is the Lord. Why can't you come? Here is Krishna. The first person, he is called Vartama Pradakshaka Guru. And the second one is Siksha Guru. Siksha Guru could be many. Whoever is guiding us in our devotional life from step 1 to step 2, step 2 to step 3. Whoever is guiding us, they are all our Siksha Gurus, the guiding spiritual masters, the instructing spiritual masters. And Diksha Guru, the initiating Guru, the one who is connecting us to the Guru Parampara formally. So that is the Diksha Guru. So all the three spiritual masters, all three of them are helping us in our lives. And Krishna also sitting in our, so he is sending all these people. When a person is very sincere in heart, sincere and serious, oh Krishna, my dear Lord, when will I awaken my dormant love for you? I have been rotting in this, in this world for many millions of births. Same, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Keep on going on, taking different bodies. and I have not realized you. I have forgotten you completely. But now, by the mercy of, by your causeless mercy, and the causeless mercy of the devotees sent by you, that I am understanding that I am your eternal servant and I've got lost. And now I have to come back to you. I have to, awaken my love for you. So then please guide me. Then Krishna, when he sees the sincerity of the practitioner, then he guides from inside as the super soul, Paramatma, as Chaitya Guru. And then he shows the externally the spiritual master, the representatives from whom he can take guidance. In that way, Krishna is helping the conditioned soul to achieve the ultimate goal of life. So how merciful the Lord is. So we can see the steps here, how it happens step by step. So first association with the devotees, then with the association of devotees, we start doing devotional service and we develop that faith. And when that faith, Srila Prabhupada mentions faith, when it becomes thick, it's condensed, then that is called as love. When the faith is unflinching, very deep, then that faith is actually prema. So the dormant love for Krishna awakens. So then what happens? The material existence comes to an end. There is no repeated cycle of birth, death, and all that, because one will be, one will go back to the spiritual world and associate with Krishna. So that is the awakening of love for Krishna. So important to all starts with contacting a devotee. Looks very simple, isn't it? But then that is the one, that is the first step which actually can take us to the final step. If that first step doesn't happen, then the final step is like, I don't know when it happens. So that means how important it is to associate with devotees. How important is to gain. And also not only take association, but how important, we don't have to think ourselves as devotee. We're all practicing devotees, but yet how important we got something. We also want to be that instrument in someone's life. There are many people who are looking for Krishna. They don't know what to do next. So are we going to be misers? Are we going to go and help them? Okay, come on, I got it. At least I'm in the process still, even I have not achieved it. I will also help you, to know more about Krishna. So that is the spirit. So that is what is needed. And it's the final slide. We see here, Krishna is telling to Uddhava, in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is he telling? Very important point he's telling here. Edrichaya mat katado. Somehow or other, if one is attracted to mat kata, that means my kata, my pastimes. If somehow or other, if one is attracted to Krishna kata, what happens? Jata shraddhastu yakpuman, and has faith in Krishna's instruction. Na nirvinna nati shakto, and if one is neither falsely detached from material things, nor very much attracted to material existence, Bhakti Yoga Asya Siddhida, his dormant love for Krishna will be awakened by Bhakti. So Krishna himself is telling to Uddhava, he says, how one can awaken love for me? It is starting from Krishna Katha, hearing about the Lord. So we are coming in contact with the devotee. Then what happens? The devotee tells us all the devotional process. And what is the devotional process? The first one, Shravanam. So we start to hear. We hear about Krishna constantly. And then what happens? We develop faith in Krishna's in oh my dear Lord, how I did not know all this for all these lifetimes. We think that, and then we start to develop faith in Krishna's instructions. And then what happens? We don't become falsely detached. Neither falsely detached means, oh, I'm just renouncing this world. That's a false detachment. Monkey renunciation, Srila Prabhupada mentions. We know that this whole we don't falsely renounce, whereas we try to see everything in relation with Krishna. This world is created by the Lord. Everything in this world has connection with the Lord. So in that sense, we see everything in relation with the Lord, not in our connection. That's why it says for material things, not very much attracted. Okay. So neither renouncing nor getting attached, rather seeing everything in relation with the Lord. Then what happens? One can awaken love for Krishna. So it is important. So two important factors we saw here. One is association of devotees, the standing out points. And another one is hearing about the Lord. Even in the very starting, I said, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Adhikara. Tahan Krishna, Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Adhikara. So in that also Prabhupada mentions in the purport, if one wants to, Maya cannot touch that person who is constantly hearing about Krishna. Because if you constantly hear about Krishna, then we can remember Krishna. If the Shravanam is not happening, the Shravanam and Kirtanam are not happening, how Smaranam is possible? It's not possible. First and second step only will help us to do the third step. So Shravanam and Kirtanam are the first two steps. So if someone is Shravanam, hearing, and Kirtanam is glorifying, and then what happens? Smaranam is possible. So in simple terms, if we keep hearing about Krishna, like what we all now doing now, hearing about the Lord. If we keep hearing about Krishna and we keep talking about Krishna and chanting his name, which is Kirtanam, then we can remember Smaranam, we can remember Krishna. And if we do this, what happens? We will be able to develop that pure love for Krishna. So starting with the simple formula of hearing about Krishna. And that happens only in the association. That's why association is given first point. In association, we hear. Then the final product, the love for Krishna, will be achieved. So that's the point. So now, today something very exciting we are going to introduce. I will now request Vinal to introduce this to all of you. Stay tuned. Very exciting.
Please accept my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas here. So, can anyone guess what are we introducing today? Anyone?
Everyone is eager to say what is waiting to hear from you. Looks like
Panihati.
No, bro.
Energize youth.
No, bro.
ELBV app.
Oh, wow.
That's a very nice idea, Mataji.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Beautiful idea.
Something related to CC class.
Which we weekly we do. We just include something.
About quiz?
Upgraded version.
Yeah.
All right. So today we are actually introducing to you
Voice is not good.
So were you all able to guess that?
Prabhu, sorry for that. I think I could not able to hear the sound, Prabhu. Did any devotee also facing this issue, or like?
No, we could hear well, Prabhu. We could hear really well.
Perfectly fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's good.
Yeah. So today we are introducing to you Gaura Awards.
Haribo.
Actually, how this works is, as we all know, every week we have our weekly quizzes after the class. So it's the same thing which is going to happen. But the thing is that we have now grouped it into dham wise. So each participant will be grouped according to their dham. So let's say, for example, last week winners, yesterday, Ranjani Mahaprabhu is the winner for the first place this week. So he'll be allocated into Jagannath Dham. And as so on, we have our planning going on. We have an Excel sheet. So we'll group them according to the dham wise. So the winner's scores will be recorded and the points will be added to the dham. So, and I explain more about the points the next slide. So at the end of the month, each of the months, so we have our Gaura Awards, and this will be hosted during our CSE class, and the winners will be announced during the class as Dharm-wise. So for the month of February or the month of March, I'm sorry, now it's April, yeah. So for the month of April, we'll have maybe Jagannath Dham as the first place or Mathura Dham as the first place. So we will group them according to Dham-wise. For those of you who are not in any time, let's say some devotees are joining from outside of our East London Bhakti Viksha, so we will allocate them in the Dham of Vrindavan Dham.
Hari Bol Jai.
So the way how we're going to announce to allocate the points is we are going to introduce something called have introduced something called Gaura Nakshatras. So that is our point-based system for the quizzes. So for the first place, they'll be given 5 Gaura Nakshatras. And for second place, we have 3 Gaura Nakshatras. And for the third place, we have 1 Gaura Nakshatra. Yeah.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Wow. So basically we say, stars, we give stars for, different things, right? So stars in Sanskrit is nakshatra. So everything what we do is connected with Lord Gauranga. So it is Gaura Nakshatra. So let's see how it goes. That's wonderful. Hari Bol.
So now it's quiz time. So I think everybody is more excited now. They want their Dham to be the first place. So let's compete for spiritual benefits. Yeah.
So yeah, very wonderful. Thank you, Vinil Prabhu. So you might have heard so many Filmfare awards, this award, that award, Radio Mirchi award. So I am sure all of you are excited to get the Gaura award. Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
So now Ranjani Prabhu will have the quiz.
So the time for the quiz now. So question 1 starts from here. Which of the following is true according to the given content? So there are Mataji explaining about the Maya and who are the intelligent persons. So with respect to this, you have to select one of the correct answer. Perfect. So the correct answer is unintelligent person thinks they are the enjoyer of the world. The devotees who have given the correct answers are, first is Rashraj Narsimha Prabhu, Katrina Ujjain Mataji, and third is iPhone. Maybe like you can mention your name, Mataji. So iPhone is the third place. Hare Krishna. So now we are going to for the second question here. Prabhu, can you go to the second one? Yeah. So what is the condition for being released from the bondage of Maya according to the context discussed during the CC class? It's very easy, straightforward question. Just wait for some more second and so the correct answer is answer number 3. One must sincerely and seriously say, my dear Krishna, I am yours, and Maya will be, and like Krishna is obliged to. And the correct answer is given by Anuradha Achyutapriya Mataji, Shruti Mataji, and Yamini Mataji. Hari Bol. Now question 3 starts from here. What does one does if he actually intelligent and wants to progress in the path of life? Yeah, I think, yeah. So, and the correct answer is answer number A. And the devotees have given the correct answer is Ram Priya Madhav Prabhu, Anuradha Achyutapriya Mataji, Rashraj Narsimha Prabhu. Hari Bol. So now we'll go for question number 4. and that is start from here. What is the difference between forceful shelter and willful shelter? So Mataji was explaining different kind of forceful shelter and willful surrender. Yeah. So we have 4 options here. And the correct answer is answer number B. And the devotees have given, sorry, I missed somewhere. And the winner is Anuradha Mataji, Shruti Mataji, and Nilesh Prabhu. Hari Bol. Now the last question, it goes here. Question number 5. What does surrender mean? The options are: demand something from Krishna, to completely depend upon Krishna's mercy, to exchange loving service for the material propensities, to be concerned about the one's material positions. And the correct answer is answer number B, to completely depend upon the Krishna. And the devotees who have given the right answer start from Aparupa Krishna Priya Mataji, Ammu Naveen, and Jyoti Mataji. Hari Bol. So thank you, devotees, for the enthusiastically participation. And we will be calculating and we'll be showing the result at the end of the at the end of the slide. And now we'll go for, I think it's time for key. So as every time we do, if devotee can write something what they are going to take away from this class and what the point which they like most and they want to share with the devotees. So we'll wait for some 30 to 40 seconds and devotees can share, and so that I can share with the devotees. Very good. So Katrina Mataji has mentioned like Bhakti Yoga is superior to Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Thank you, Mataji. Ramakrishna Prabhu has mentioned surrender ourselves to Krishna Jai. That's like totally depends upon the mercy of the Lord and surrendering to the Krishna. Sachi Mataji has mentioned we should focus on association and it is the logical starting point to Sravanam and Kirtan. Yeah. So Mataji was explaining like how the process start from Sravanam, Kirtanam, Ismaran. So till the time you are not doing Sravana and Kirtan, so Ismaran is very difficult. So very nice point, Mataji. Manavendra Prabhu has mentioned developing love for Krishna, Hari Bol. Aprupa Mataji has mentioned association of devotees, Jai. Sachi Mataji again mentioned, then only Ismaran happens. That very wonderful point, Mataji. Prema Shakti Lakshmi Priya Mataji has mentioned, if we surrender to Krishna, he will give us the intelligence to desire for the right things. Hari Bol. Savai punsa paro dharma yato bhakti raha ahatuki apritihatayam yayatmana pashupridesi. Jai, thank you, Mataji. Anuradha Mataji has mentioned, real surrender is to depend upon the mercy of the mercy. Second, performing bhakti is the intelligence. And third is attaining devotional service by the mercy of devotees. Hari Bol, 3 points, Mataji. Thank you. How should a mother guide a child to the path of bhakti from Suniti? Jai, very nice. So Mother explained Suruchi and Suniti's story and how a mother should guide and she should not react within and how she was giving the ultimate, solution to his son. Thank you, Sangeeta Mataji. Satya Devi Mataji has mentioned, we will stay on Krishna consciousness, then only Krishna will save us. Perfect, Mataji. Yeah. Kartik Prabhu has mentioned, Krishna from inside, Guru from outside, guide us, attain prema. Perfect, Prabhu. Yeah. Shruti Mataji has mentioned, we depend upon Krishna's mercy at all time. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhus and Matajis, for writing the wonderful points and takeaways. So we'll go ahead for the next slide. And that will be Prabhu, Vinil Prabhu, can you go ahead for the next slide? Sujana Mataji has mentioned last, Krishna mercifully teaches a fortunate person as Chaitya Guru from within, as Guru, as a spiritual master from without. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Sangeeta Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhu. So now let's read about the benefits of hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 20.405. Iha se sune pade se bhagyavan Krishnera Swarupa Tatvera Haya Kichujnana. Translation. So whoever hears or recites these descriptions of the expansions of Krishna's body is certainly a very fortunate man. Although this is very difficult to understand, one can nonetheless acquire some knowledge about the different features of Krishna's body. So as Mataji today said in our class, hearing is the most important in the association of devotees. So let's encourage our BV members and also Gita Gyan members to join this wonderful session in the association of Vaishnavas and hear from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And get the Gaura award as well.
Get the Gaura award as well. To your thumbs, yes.
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead for the next slide, Prabhu. I think it's announcement time.
Yeah, so for announcements, but this Saturday on the 29th of April, we have the appearance day of Srimati Sita Devi and Srimati Janva Devi, and disappearance of Sri Madhu Pandita. And on the Monday, the 1st of May, Labour's Day, we have Mohini Ekadashi. Vivek Prabhu, if is there any other announcement? Prabhu?
Yeah, so we have some extra announcement than this, like Pani Hati is knocking the door, and we have just 1 month now for the pot and everything. So 26th of April, which is day after tomorrow, is the last day for the Pani Hati registration. I can see so far approximately 100 pots have been registered across all the 4 dhams and Gita Gyan. So we are asking more and more devotee to join and participate in this festival. I know all the pots won't go to the temple, but yes, you should celebrate in home, and you should offer as much as possible. Finally get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is one thing. Also, we have new batch of Gita Gyan is coming from 15th of May, which is the second batch of the year. So roughly we got 380 plus registration this batch, and we are requesting all the devotees, whoever is doing 16 round and 4 regulatory principles, please join in the facilitation of the Gita Gyan classes, because we really need a lot of big team. 10 to 11 batches will be created, and roughly we need 25 to 30 facilitators. So please come forward from your dham. You can nominate yourself by consulting your dham leader or sector leader or Gita Gyan coordinator, and please come forward and help us, because without having dedicated facilitator, we can't run this 12 batch for 18 days. It needs a lot of dedication, a lot of fine work, because they are the audience are the very new. So our impression on the new people should be good. So it lots a lot of dedication and time. So please come forward for that. So these are the 2 announcements, Mataji, from my side. And also temple has given the Narsimha Chaturdashi services. So I have published in leaders group. Please pass it to your respective dham and BV, and try to get few volunteers for 5th of May. I think it is 5th of May. Yeah, 4th of May. Yeah, 4th of May, Thursday. So where they have asked for different services like cooking, chopping, main queue management service, Surak management service. Those services are there. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yeah, and now we'll have a look at the winners for this week quiz. So thank you very much for participating. And the winner for today is Anuradha Achutapriya Mataji.
Haribol.
Second place, we have Kriti Mataji. Sorry. Slight technical error.
I think second and third both displayed at the same time.
Yeah, just a moment.
That was last week. We didn't refresh first. Yes. For the first place, we have Anuradha Chittapriya Mataji. And for the second place, today we have Ramapriya Madhav Prabhu.
work yet.
Haribol.
And for the third place, we have Swarupa Krishna Priya Mataji.
So,
Haribol.
So for as for Dam-wise, Dwarakadam,
five.
we'll have 5 Gaura Nakshatras, and Jagannath Dham for Ramapriya Prabhu will have 3 Gaura Nakshatra, and Aparupa Mataji's Dham will have 1 Gaura Nakshatra.
Finally, Prabhus are in the list at least compared to last 2-3 sessions. Jai Haribol.
Thank you. So 3 Haribols to all of them. Haribol, 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 the devotees. So we will have darshan of Jagannath now. So yeah, next time we will put those, also we will have the, by the time I think we will put the list in the sense and nakshatras and all that you can see clearly, so you will know. I think you can see Jagannath now. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Chakra ki jai, Shishi Gornitai ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So thank you all for joining today. So we will catch up next week, Monday, for the further points on the 22nd chapter. It's a chapter where we can learn a lot of things, very practical devotional services. The 64 items of devotional service we will be discussing soon. It's a very important chapter. And we thank all of you for joining today. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Dandavat pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Mataji.
much.
Thank you very much.
Gauranga.